Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 5th of February. With McShane, we're working our way through the book of Job. Today, we read the 4th chapter, the story of a good and upright man who ends up suffering tremendous loss and suffering in himself. Behind the scenes, God is allowing this to happen, though Job is completely unaware of it, and none of his compatriots can see this either. Some friends come to bring him comfort, and the first one to speak in chapter 4 is Eliphaz the Temanite. And he recognizes that Job has been a good man and that he's helped others, and he says, I've come to help you as well. And in verse 6 he states, should not your piety be your confidence, and your blameless ways your hope? Consider now who, being innocent, has ever perished, or where were the upright ever destroyed? And in the beginning of his comfort for Job, he highlights the problems with his position and of all the comforters. In their worldview, if you're good, good things will happen to you. And they're saying to Job, your piety, your blameless ways, you've been a good person. That's what you should rely on. And as a result of that, they end up having to say, well, because you're not having good things, but bad things, that must be because you're a bad person. And that's a contemporary Hollywood way of seeing things. In any movie, it's always good when the goodies win and the baddies get their comeuppance, and then everybody lives happily ever after. But that's not how life works. That's not the reality we live in, and it's not the reality of Job or of the rest of Scripture. He asks, consider now who, being innocent, has ever perished. And as Christians, we look and say, well, Jesus has. And there's never been a person better than Jesus. The perfect person suffered and died. Suffering is not reserved for bad people. And being good doesn't mean that you only have good things. And so we need to hang on to that, because it's quite easy to get caught up into the thinking of Job's comforters. And we're very tempted sometimes when we see people struggling or things going wrong in their life, sort of thinking back of our minds, we don't say it out loud, but hidden in the back of our thoughts somewhere, well, maybe it's deserved. And we need to recognize often it's completely not deserved. And we sometimes think that, oh, those people are so good, everything's going well with them, so wealthy, so abundant life. Clearly they must be good people. No, very often the worst of people end up having what appears to be an abundant life. And we mustn't let people judge us or let other people's judgment of us impinge on our own ideas. Sometimes people will think, oh, because this is happening, you haven't got enough faith. No, God never does treats people that way. There are times when bad things happen to good people. And as Christians, we know that God never promised us that wouldn't happen. He did promise that all things will work together for the good of those who love him. And sometimes the bad things in our lives work for our good. And sometimes we only see our good when we step across the Jordan into the promised land of eternity. And at that point, it all comes together and we see God's perfect plan, and it all works out 100%. So that's what we hang on to. We don't walk with Job's comforters. We recognize that there is unjustified suffering, that there is undeserved blessing. But God knows, God sees, and God is always, ultimately, in control, working things for our good and for his glory. Be blessed.